Hello, 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 hello. Happy Thursday, April 16th. We all made it past tax season. Hopefully you all did. It was it was real for me. Um, hey, we're at 6 o'clock and I'm going to give it a few more minutes just to make sure my technology is working today. So I see that I am broadcasting this through Restream on YouTube and on Facebook. Now I can see it on Facebook. It's important that this is not at a private setting because there has been some issues with that through this Restream platform. So if you're out in Facebook land and you can see this, let me know. Give me a thumbs up. Give me something in the chat. Let me know that you are live through Facebook. And if you're live in YouTube, the same. Let me know so we can we know who we have an audience because I have a really exciting guest with us tonight. I'm super excited about tonight's topic. Um, I don't know. Excitement is not just it. The whole platform excites me, but I am intentional and passionate. That's the better phrase. I'm passionate about this topic tonight, and I'm so thrilled to have my very first guest with me tonight. So I want to make sure all the tech is working. So I see Cassandra gave me a Cassandra, thank you, gave me a heart. So I take it that you can see us live, and I'm it's looking like Facebook Live is doing the countdown again. That's why I'm just making sure. Now I expect some delay by about 20 seconds or so, but this should sync up with where we are through this platform. And because my audience is mostly through Facebook, if we have any issues, I'm just going to end through the Restream platform, and I'll go directly to Facebook Live. So if you're out there on Facebook Live, let me know. If you're out there on YouTube, let's see if I see any chats in YouTube. Oh, there they are. Yes. So sis, are you watching through YouTube tonight? No, I see these are Facebookers. That's awesome. Okay, so jot down what city, what state you're in. Misha, how are you? So good to see you. Thank you so much for joining, sis. Excellent. So you're looking through, you can see through Facebook also. Hi, Mom Annie. How are you? It's good to see you too. Hello, Jennifer Roscoe. Hey, Miss Roscoe. How are you? Thanks for joining us tonight. We are going to jump right into a topic because if you're not able to see this at the start, the best thing about technology today, and it's interesting that I'm actually even prefacing with what's good about technology because you may hear me kind of come down on it a bit tonight, but the best thing about technology is that you can view this again at a later time. So you can view the replay through Facebook, or you can go to my YouTube channel, DMC, the Impact Experience channel, and you can catch all the videos that we've done, either our lives or pre-recorded videos. And I know I got to get full steam ahead and get more recorded videos out there so I can give you all more content. But tonight on the DMC Impact Experience, we are going to tackle always being on. This kind of lifted out of a conversation that we had called the hustle culture. And you can find all those videos on the YouTube channel. The hustle culture was my first series. And out of that, we talked about hyper performing, being hyper connected. And, you know, that resonates with me as a person who has worked remotely, not since COVID, but since 2010, I have worked remote. And I've personally seen how working remotely can cause you to lack boundaries or to have no start and finish. You always have a start, you rarely have a finish, especially when you work from home. So I wanted to go ahead and continue this conversation, but to do it from a very holistic approach, because as you know, DMC, the Impact Experience podcast, is a platform where we have authentic conversations for people that are in transition or moving to their next or caught between chapters, but you know that life is still unfolding for you. And oftentimes you find yourself caught at the intersection of spirit, soul, and strategy. So every time we talk, we're going to come from one of those three pillars, if not all three at the same time. But tonight I really wanted to focus in on spirit, on soul, and our bodies and our emotions and our health and our spirits, but to have someone with the clinical credentials to support my conversations, our conversations tonight. So let me give you a few more minutes. Tell me what city you're from. If you're from the Lou, I'm from the Lou, 314, St. Louis. If you're from another city, type that in. I'm so glad you joined us tonight. I see you, Miss Marcia. Thank you for joining. Tamika, I love you. Thank you for joining. Who else is out there with us tonight? I know I always say that, and it makes me think of that the PBS days where I see Dion, I see Jennifer, I see Mom Annie. Thank you all for joining. Okay, so I'm going to jump right in with my monologue. I'm going to add my guest in just a few minutes, and I'm again using technology for the first time, so we'll see how that's going to work. But I am going to add Adrienne Petty, and I'm going to give her some time to introduce herself, but I'm so thrilled. I was inspired by Adrienne's transition into this space, a space that I'm going to again use this word passion. I'm very passionate about making sure that we're addressing people in our full selves, which is our bodies, our health, our spirits, our souls as well. And so I'm so glad to have her join me tonight. But I want to talk about, how many remember the days when television used to go off? And this is what kind of jarred the conversation for me, I usually get these little sprinkles of ideas or thoughts or phrases, or I have a vision about something. And all of a sudden I was lying down a couple weeks ago, and I got this vision of TV just going off. And I was like, let me go back and see, like, what genre, what generation was that? It was the 50s and the 60s when television was on a certain time and it shut down. Now, I don't want you to date yourself, but if you are like me and you remember when TV used to go off, and first of all, we had these images of these multicolor kind of station identification. We also had the Star Spangled Banner. Yes, that was just the norm. The television would go off, the Star Spangled Banner, and then you'd get nothing but white static on the screen. And what drew me to this even further is I'm like, okay, because I know how when I am hooked on a word, or I see something or sense something or hear something, there's a message in it. There's a message coming out of it. So I said, well, what was that period? It was the 50s and the 60s, or the 60s and the 70s. It was a time where there was an intentional built-in limitations, built-in limits, built-in boundaries. And it was where life had a natural off switch. And it made me start to think that that's really what happened. That's exactly it, Dion. TV screens with Star Spangled banners, stars and stripes. And if you remember, like, televisions on the floor. How many remember your TV being on the floor, almost built into some sort of not chiffero, but maybe that is it, one of those cabinets. I mean, it would take 3 men and a truck to move those TVs back then. But it was a time when television stations literally shut off at night, often with the national anthem. Silence followed. There was no 24/7 news cycle. Now, I want us to hold on to that, and we're going to come back to that. There was no 24/7 news cycle, no information overload. In fact, the TV councils, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Roscoe. In fact, information had boundaries. There was not a boundless limitless access to information. There were no smartphones, there were no emails, there were no Slack, there was no constant scroll. It made me think about the young man, I think his name Finesse, where he said, I ate cereal, I had noodles, no packet, cereal, no milk, the canned milk, powdered milk, waffles, no syrup. Okay, we had no TV overnight. We had no cell phones. We had no text. We had no constant scrolling. We had no 24 cycle news, just overloaded with access. And it got me to thinking about what is driving us through this imbalance of health, mental health, physical health, emotional health, broken relationships. All of these things have become distractions. That's right, Dion. We had ovens, no microwaves. Who got some more we had? Because I crack myself up about that. The fact that I know that by heart. I know cereal, no milk. I remember those days. I know we had grilled cheese, but we had cheese toast, no grilled cheese. Cheese toast, block cheese, cut the block. No grilled cheese. We had no internet. Thank you, Misha. We had no internet. We had party lines. We had, let me put you on hold. Okay. We didn't have all this stuff. We had to be continued. We didn't have no streaming. Come on, Dion. We didn't have no, we had to wait till next week. We didn't have it was no binging. Okay. This is what I'm talking about. Hyper connectivity. We are always on, and we've gotten so accustomed to it that when we think about our fatigue and our health, we're blaming it on everything else. But a lot of it is this hyper connectivity. We have got to figure out how to turn off so we can turn on. Come on, Terry. We had strings and sticks. I'll go as long as y'all want me to, but I want to bring them on my guests. We had flakes, no frosting. Now, me and Dion had some cereal with water. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. We had Kool-Aid, no sugar. We had to be creative. Yes, Terry. So good to see you, sis. I love you. Terry from Florida. Cassandra from Virginia. Cassie. Thank you all for joining tonight. We weren't in this constant cycle of being on. And we think it's given us balance, but it's creeped into boundaries and given us imbalance. Yeah, it has. And so as I kind of open up with this last component that I want to add to you about with my monologue here, I wanted to add that the era of hyperconnectivity has created a blurred line in separation. I talked about working remote since 2010. There were clear boundaries of a beginning and an end, a work and a home. I don't know how many of you are in a remote setting and you've been remote as long as I have, or for any amount of time. It's actually in one way, it certainly has saved money, saved time in traffic. Don't get me wrong. I love that, but always on. If I'm home and I hear that ding, that Slack, that Microsoft Teams, I'm going to grab the phone, grab the laptop, no boundaries. But some of y'all work from home and you got no work clothes. Working in a bonnet. Now I don't know how you do it. That's not me. I have to get dressed every day. But however you do it. I love y'all. Amen, Cousin Cora. Cousin Cora, Memphis. We had fun. We had boundaries. Pastor Doyle, thank you for joining me tonight. Texas, thank you. We don't start now. God gave his people Sabbath. because he knew we wouldn't have sense enough to rest. Now, don't get me on that one, because I have a whole nother series on the Sabbath and how Jesus told us, okay, we should honor the Sabbath. We skirt past that because we saw Jesus working miracles on Sabbath. We did, but we didn't throw everything on the Sabbath. And let me be clear, because there's some cultural, there is some westernization to Sabbath. So whether you believe Sabbath is on a Saturday or a Sunday, if you're Jewish or descent, or you just have a different belief system, whatever that day of rest is, we have encroached it. How many remember when stores were closed on Sundays? No stores. No store. Gas station, maybe. Then what happened? Blue law. Y'all remember the blue law? And am I only one almost 60? Dating myself. The blue law. Yes. So we have lost boundaries. And tonight's conversation with our guest tonight is to bring some boundaries back so that we can understand what's really pushing us in the wrong direction in our physical health, in our emotional health, in our balance in life. I don't know about you, but I was telling somebody I wonder why the Lord really has me talking so much now about health and consciousness. It's because I'm in this real space myself, for sure. I'm in this real space myself. I'm in a battle. Today was a battle. Yesterday was a battle. Now, I'm not taking off this hat and these glasses so you can see. Sometimes the weight of what I'm dealing with is seen in my eyes and my face. It's a real battle. And I recognize now that at my age, we only have so much more ramp ahead of us, y'all. So we're going to have to snatch back some balance and take back some health and try to reverse some of this stuff, at least to live the Zoe, the God kind of life, the quality of life that God has promised us. Yes, yes. So let me see how I can bring in my guest, because I know she's waiting patiently. Let me figure out how to do this here now. Let me see. Where are you, Adrian? Oh, nope. Hold on. Should be side by side. Well, okay. All right. Okay. Let me get Adrian in here, guys. Okay. Let me get Adrian in. Let's see. Audio enabled. Adrian, can you hear us? Are you able to engage? If not, if you're okay with it, you can go through Facebook and I can pull you in from there. But I hope you're able to see if I can get my guest in. Come on now, let's see. It says Adrian and I are both here. Okay, let's see. I want to make sure. Give me a minute, folks. New technology. Okay, there we go. Okay, it says you're on, Adrian. But maybe you don't have audio because I still can't hear you. All screens on. Anybody? Can anybody see Adrian? Nope. Okay. Everyone can see and hear. Well, okay. So we know she's on, but why don't we have audio for Adrian? Okay. There we go. Can you hear me? Yes, we got you. Oh, now I got you 3 times. Let me let me let me remove this one. Okay.
Finally, technology
Finally.
working.
You know what? Technology does what it needs to do.
It does. It does. I am so glad to be here with everyone. Denise, thank you so much for the invitation. This is something that I'm passionate about because I too am living the exhaustion of always being on, too available, always got something going on, binge watching TV because I'm too tired to do anything else.
Don't know how to say no.
Yeah, I'm learning to say no.
I'm figuring it out. Don't know how to rest without feeling guilty. We'll talk about that in a
Oh,
second.
baby, I can teach you. I am a proud card carrying recovered codependent. I do know how to say no.
And you know what, Adrian, I don't think people really understand that that is the behavior that is at play when we are always on and we
It is.
that need to be needed is a codependency.
It is.
May- Yeah. So maybe before we go a little deeper, why don't you let like I know you, and but not everybody does. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your practice and who you are.
So, hi, everyone. So glad that you're here and I'm able to be here with you as well. My name is Adrienne Petty. I am a licensed therapist here in the state of Missouri. I've been practicing since about 2017, 2014, licensed in 2016 because I procrastinated, but that's another topic. Uh, Not knowing how to say yes to me, saying yes to everyone else.
Ooh, say amen, somebody in the chat. If you need to learn how to or figure out how to say yes to me. Now
Yeah.
I know for some people that sounds selfish, but that's why we're going to talk balance, spirit, soul, and strategy. It is okay to say yes to you.
Yes, absolutely. Jesus didn't say yes to everybody. Did he heal everybody? Oh, there you have it. There's your permission.
There's your permission.
There's your permission right there. And yes is a complete statement. It's a complete
Yes,
sentence.
yes,
You
it
can
is.
decline something and not have to give an explanation unless you just want to.
Ooh,
I
that
know,
that
write that
that
down. Do you all have pen and paper? I'm going to give you nuggets tonight.
nuggets tonight. Yes is a complete sentence, and guess what? Then the counter to that is a complete sentence. No is a complete sentence without explanation. Yeah.
And you don't even have to feel bad.
You know, that guilty conscience of saying no, when we talked about the hustle culture and that hyper performing and overperforming, that performance anxiety, that really does come from a deep place.
It is.
And we've talked about sometimes trauma, sometimes rearing. I joke often about my grandmother not letting Dion rest on Saturdays. So we were up the same time every day of the week. It didn't matter. So then I cycled through my life raising my kids the same way, and I can't figure out that it's okay to just lay down or say no and just not do anything. Those are coming from a deep place. But as we segue into today's topic about how the world is built around being on constantly and this connectivity dynamic that we're in, on one hand, it's really helped us. I remember when we did advance to the cell phone, and my first cell phone was in a bag. Did you have one, Adrian?
Ma'am. Thought I was somebody special. And
Baby, we had them cell phones in a bag
the high cell phone bill.
and a high cell phone bill.
By the minute. Yes.
And by the minutes, I forgot about the minutes part. And then we had the beeper. And so, like, I remember, like, if my grandmother was so excited because she knew that she could reach us if she needed us versus, wait until we got home. But so while technology has its good, what it's done is it's removed boundaries, and it's removed this whole construct of having a shut off and a shut on. We have ons, but we don't have offs. Can you talk to us about that, Adrian?
You know, I've been giving this a lot of thought because I tried to figure out where did it all go wrong. And you're right. I remember as a kid, the television did turn off and you didn't have call waiting. You had a busy
Yes.
tone. And if you were in my house and somebody was trying to get my mother and the phone line was busy, there was an emergency call cut in and I had to give up that phone.
You know
And then I got
that
in trouble because the other person had to make the emergency call to reach my mother, and she was paying the bill. I was a kid.
I really remember the busy tone. You know, I honestly forgot the busy tone.
Busy tone. And so, if you had a busy tone, what did that mean? They can't speak with you now.
Yeah.
They're busy. They're
Yeah.
resting. They're cooking, or maybe just don't want to talk. And
Hmm.
now, what do we have? Call waiting. And now, with the update for the Apple phones, it has some message, ask who they are and see if you want to speak to it. And I didn't even activate it. I thought that's just too much. That is too
Oh,
much access.
now look at the psychological aspect of too much access. So what happens today if you call someone and they don't answer? Before we used to say it was a busy tone, they were busy. Now it's they must be ignoring me.
We take it personally. Why?
Yes. Yes.
Are we
Yes.
that important? maybe
Are
in
we that
maybe in your
fragile?
own mind that when you call, someone must answer, no matter
Yeah.
what they are doing.
Yeah.
Okay,
Or are
so
we that fragile?
well, that too. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Because
not
we
about us.
tie our we're so accustomed to having this constant connectivity that we don't even allow we don't have boundaries, so we don't take kindly when other people do. I remember recently I told someone that um first of all, I answered the phone to tell them that I wasn't in a good place and didn't really wasn't able to talk at the time. And I don't know why I did it, because the moment I answered the phone, I gave access. But I was in my own headspace going, well, I don't want them to think that I'm ignoring them. And it's really it's a play here that we have to figure out how to have the balance. And I want to read something and then bring it back to you. With all of this connectivity, it has given us a life without boundaries, where before the world had a natural shut off and a natural shutdown because everything powered down. Now, nothing really powers down. So there are no natural shutoffs anymore. So we've eroded boundaries, and we take it personal when other people do. Let me see what were you saying here, Misha? Because we see them on. Oh no, we haven't even got on social media yet, and don't understand why they won't answer the phone. Um, is it okay for somebody to just not answer the phone? If yes is a whole sentence and no is a whole sentence, can not answering the phone be a whole positive thing and not a negative?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Give yourself permission to not always be on. You do not
Yeah.
have to always be available to someone else. Become
Hmm.
available to your own self. How about that?
How about that?
How about
So
that?
I was looking and I saw this word hyper engagement
Mm.
or perpetual engagement. And that's what made me start to think about social media. Social media is this perpetual engagement. We're drawn to likes. We're drawn. Now I'm a social what they call it creator now. As a podcaster, I'm automatically a digital creator. Numbers matter, impressions matter. But I was telling my sister the other day, I'm trying not to get caught up in that, because it is a slippery slope to wonder who saw my post, who liked my post, who didn't like my post. This perpetual engagement has us in a space now where we are, it's almost like an addiction. It's almost like an internal high. It's like an affirmation that if somebody doesn't like what I said or like what I do, I feel it on the inside. I don't know if you're seeing patients or you're talking to people in this space. What insights would you have for someone who is this current generation who's caught in this perpetual engagement?
Yeah. Social media has taught us that we cannot validate ourselves. We must have external validation. So if we have 10 likes, well, why don't I have 50 likes? They have 75 likes. Why don't they like me? And but the thing is that, like yourself. And I don't mean, digitally. I mean, like who you are.
Yeah.
Internalize that.
Yeah.
Learn that you are enough. You don't need someone else to tell you who you are.
Yeah.
But society says, no, if you want to be somebody, you have to have all of these external validations. And so now we're lost. We don't know who we are.
Oh.
And we're trying to keep up with the Joneses.
And
we're trying to do what everybody else does. And we're wearing ourselves out. Yes, I have clients who are, I don't like to use the word suffering, but they are dealing with anxiety because they're trying to do everything.
Yes.
We were not created to do everything.
Now that, can we pause right there? Because that's the segue right there. And Dion, I see you. This external validation versus internal affirmation.
Yes.
That's a good one to write down. Because we were not created. First of all, we were created fearfully and wonderfully. And so that's our validation,
Yes.
right? And we were not created to do everything. You're absolutely right at the top of the conversation when you said Jesus didn't heal everybody. He also said no to some people. He also stepped away. He also went on the boat because the crowds were overwhelming. They were always coming at him. They were always pulling on him. They were always needing something from him. We overlooked that he was both man and divine.
Yes.
And when we saw him pull away, it was that the man, when we saw him sleep on the boat, it was the man. He had just done miracles. So what makes us think that we can be constantly on? And if we are constantly on, what makes us think that we can do that without consequence? And that's where I want to land before we run out of time. It's so good. We run out of time already. I've got a couple of slides, Adrian, and I didn't get to share these with you before. It's because generally my creative thesis starts moving right at the 11th hour. But let me share the screen and then hopefully you can see it too. Let's see here. Tire. Because I love visuals and I wanted to share with everyone like where we are today is this cost of being always on. There's consequence. There's both a physical and an emotional impact, and we'll talk about the health aspects of it. But look at this column with me, Adrienne, about the emotional impacts. Are you able to see that with me?
Yes, I am. And all of this is true, sadly.
Sadly, mental fatigue and burnout. Like never before in the last couple of years, especially with the social unrest, the social, the political climate of today, inflation, un, un, unwanted wars. We are a people who are in the throes of mental fatigue. That's why I'm so passionate about it, because if we're not lifting some awareness, scripture, we talk about the scripture that Jesus told his disciples, watch as well as pray. And I know contextually where Jesus was coming from, because this is the period when he was in the garden. But what I find very interesting is that I've always seen that he's saying spiritual and natural. You can't just be one element of life and not have the other balance in life. Watch as well as pray. Watch defined as being aware. And the reason we're talking about this is because we want to create awareness for people, to include myself, starting with me, that by being always on, I am sacrificing something. Adrian, can you speak to any of this, whether it is on the emotional impact side, the physical impact side, and how it is showing up in all ages? And I don't know, what ages do you support? Are you teens or families? Tell us a little bit about that, and how some of your the people that you're seeing and supporting are in these spaces.
Certainly. Yes, my private practice is New Liberty Counseling, and I see teens and adults, lots of couples. I love working with couples and families as well. And so what I know is our children are struggling. If you look at the suicide rate,
Mm,
the children are getting younger and younger and younger. And that's very, very disturbing.
yeah.
And it has a lot to do with the influx of social media. You're right about always being on. Think about when we were children, and I'm a little bit older than you. When I was a kid and somebody was a bully, you went home and you got respite.
Mm,
Now on social media, the bullying never ends. And not
wow.
only do you have just that one kid who's bullying you, now you have a whole host of people who have joined in. And it's just too much. And these children do not know how to handle it. And I think we as adults, we're failing our youth because we have not taken a stance and said, enough is enough. And just because things are old doesn't mean they aren't good. And we need to get back to the basics.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. And there's something that we're gonna close with, because I want you to be able to share the tips that you have for everyone tonight, about getting back to the basics, because I am not anti-technology, and it's here to stay, whether we like it or not. The cell phones, the social media platforms are here to stay, but we have to get back to basics. And I think that basics is balance,
Yes,
boundaries, rest. And I know for a fact, rest for me isn't just recovery; it's regulation. And my sister remembered something I said, on one of our other podcasts, segments, where when I said rest is not for the weak. And sometimes we fight against just resting, but when you don't rest, look at the impacts. Like my category, I can be open and transparent about mine. My category is autoimmune disease, is weakened, and a weakened immune system. We cognitive decline, especially the older we get, we gotta rest. I've been living on 4 hours of sleep for most of my adult life. And now it's showing up in so many ways. So people hear us when we're saying these things tonight. This is not even a message that's not spiritual. Let me come back to you all. This is a message that's very spiritual, because we have a command, to go out and to be disciples and to make disciples of men. But if we're not living a balanced life, we're discipling this bad, imbalanced behavior. We're creating other people who do what we do and live like we live, and behave the way we behave, and sickness inclines. We're praying at the altar for God to heal us. And it's very quite possible that we need both: watch and pray, be aware and pray, regulate and pray, be mindful and pray. And so
absolutely.
we're putting a lot of things on God, and God is like, whoa, whoa, go to sleep, Denise. He's talking to me. He talking to me. He not talking to y'all. He talking to me. Drink some more water, Denise. My doctor told me I needed 84 gallons of ounces of water a day. I said, "You trying to waterboard me?" I can't get past maybe 25. But she said it would really, because all of my autoimmune, she said you need at least 80 plus ounces of water a day. And yet I'm at the altar. Yet my hands are up. Yet I'm lifting and asking God am I the only one? Somebody else put in the chat channel, watch and pray, regulate and pray, be mindful, be aware and pray. There's some things we got to do and pray. But Adrian, before we lose time, why don't you share with us some of the tips that you came up, that you brought to tonight to help us bring balance back to our lives?
But it's just listen to your body. Your body knows what it needs, but we're too busy, too engaged in everything else that we don't listen. And then when our bodies start to break down, you're right, we're at the altar. Oh, God, help me.
Yes.
But isn't it much better to maintain our health than to try to regain it? And so rest. There are so many things that go on during sleep. I'm beginning to learn. I have an aura ring, and I got that after I had a health scare. I had a heart attack 2 years ago.
Wow.
And the scarier thing about it is it wasn't caused by heart disease. It was a spontaneous tear of my artery in my heart. It's called SCAD. So I asked the doctor, what do I need to do to not do this again? And he said, nothing really, because you didn't do anything to cause it. So I'm thinking, okay, so maybe stress has something to do with it, even though I didn't feel that I was too stressed. But since I've gotten my aura ring, and this is not a plug for aura ring, you can get anybody's wearable. It measures my physiological stress.
Yeah.
So it's not just emotional stress.
Yes.
Because I was thinking, well, I'm calm, cool, and collected. And then my ring said, but you don't get enough sleep. You don't get enough good sleep.
That's it.
I get distracted sleep. I wake up. I'm a light sleeper. I wake up with every little sound. I got to go to the bathroom because I'm of a certain age. And, all of these things. And I'm a night owl. But my lifestyle really does not allow me to do that. I need to take my butt to bed. And I'm a little kid. I don't want to go to bed.
And here's another thing. It takes discipline.
It does. It does.
And I don't have it yet.
Well, we are learning.
We are learning. I'm becoming aware.
Yeah.
And I think the first step towards recovery of any kind is self-awareness.
Absolutely.
And then the graduation is self-regulation.
Correct. And take baby steps. We don't have to take leaps and bounds, but just gradually, bit by bit by bit. Because if you take baby steps, you will eventually get there. But if you don't take baby steps and try to do the leap and a bound and you fail, you don't get there. So, pick your poison. Which do you prefer?
Exactly. So here's another thing. What do we value? I think we put our attention and our focus on what we value, whether that is him, her, them, they, it, binging. I had told myself, my sister, you got me on that one, Dion, because I forgot about the to be continued. I used to hate the cliffhanger. Oh, I can't stand it. Don't make me wait till next week to see what's going to happen next. I value getting to the whole show. I do. I'm being honest. And sometimes I know I got to get up at 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning. And I'm like, okay, just one more. How many just one more is on Netflix? on what else? It's so many. And I have too many. Paramount, Netflix, Hulu, Apple. What else I got? Peacock. I don't have to miss a show. And yet I need to sleep. But I've told myself that I deserve this because I'm stretched 10 hours a day or so at work, or we're some Monday through Friday, I have some obligation. And so when I get to my like my TV time, my binge time, I have told myself that's my time. But I have to find balance because it's creeping into how much rest I actually need, especially because I'm already dealing with medical issues. So I need to value my health more, put more value in our rest, put more value in our ability to create boundaries and to shut down. Adrian, do you have any tips and recommendations on how to create boundaries?
And what you don't want.
Say that first
So
part again because it was a little delayed.
sure, create a list. Well, actually, a quadrant,
Okay.
square,
Yep.
cross, 1, 2, 1, 2. And at the left top, put advantages, write down the word advantages. The bottom boxes, disadvantages. Top left, the advantages of whatever it is that you want to do.
Okay.
You know, that can be, I want to uh, exercise every day. And then the box to the top right will be if I what are the problems if I don't exercise?
Ah, the risk.
Yes. So it's the pros and the cons. And there are
Mm-hmm.
advantages and disadvantages to both.
Mm-hmm.
And when we do that in our mind, you know, we usually go with what it is that we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
When you put it
Mm.
on paper and you start seeing what are the disadvantages are, and then you come to find out, oh, I actually have more disadvantages than I have advantages. That compels us to maybe change.
Yeah. And that's really good. First of all, we have to see it. Because
Yes.
sometimes self-awareness, other people see it around us, but we don't see it in ourselves. So
Mhm.
by putting it down on paper, you guys heard it from the therapist, put it down on paper and look at this, whatever you're engaged in, whatever you're involved in, and see the advantages and the disadvantages and the risk of not doing it or the risk of doing it. I think I
Correct.
captured those well.
Correct.
That's
Mhm.
where you'll be able to see what is the thing that I need to do and create some boundaries. I had
Correct.
another therapist tell me once, Adrian, that now this might be a stretch, but it helped me. She
Mhm.
said anything that starts with should is something to pause and reconsider. I should do. She's like, it needs to come from a different place. When you're trying to create boundaries, the thing that you need to do has to come from a different place. Even if it sounds, she said, frivolous, you should be able to say, I want to.
In fact, woulda, coulda, shouldas, we consider that as a cognitive distortion, stinking thinking,
Ah,
because it's
mm-hmm.
as if we need to be whipped and punished before we do it. Oh,
Yes.
I should eat better. Oh, I'm a lousy person. Oh, I should exercise more. Oh, I'm so lazy. I should this, I should that. She's correct.
Yeah.
I want to. I see the
Yeah.
benefit in. I want I see that I can start to do this little by little by little. Baby
Yes.
steps. Just
I see
baby.
the benefits in. That's good because going back to what you value, if you see the benefit of getting to the other side of it,
Mhm.
because that should is a trap. I don't think we're really bought in all the way when we say we should, and then if we do something, it's not going to be long lasting because it's coming from the wrong side of the motivation, right?
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. It's one of those things where, you know, if I were a better person, then I would,
Mm,
because I should.
mm,
And not,
mm.
I want to do differently. And so what I encourage my clients is not I woulda, coulda, shoulda, but I would like to.
Yes.
I wanted to try to, try this on for size. See how that
Yeah.
because I want to, because I
Yeah.
see the benefits of it.
I look, I think this conversation is probably one of the most profound, especially for believers, people of faith, because I don't sense that we don't hear this often. We don't talk about it often. I don't know if you are in the still with us. Drop in the chat real quick. What's the one thing you've heard so far? I see a lot of watch and praise. I love that. What's another thing you've heard on this call, in this conversation, that you can take away? Because we don't want to just be talking about it. We want to be about it. We want to be about a life well lived and well spent with quality. We want to be able to finish the assignment that God has given us. I have more ambition right now than I have strength, and I'm trying to balance that out because I want to equal match where I desire to go to what I need to do in my body. I joke often to my within my family. I said, "Man, my body just won't let me be great." And I want to be great. So, what if you're out there? What is this one line or one thought, one aha moment that registers with you that you can take away? Because I think it's very important that, and I want to end with this kind of watch equals awareness. I love it. Balance and boundaries. Yes. Intentionality and proactivity. Yes. I see you, CC. Miss Roscoe, I need more sleep too. I do. Change change my should to I want. I love that. I love that. Mind matters. Tony Carter. It's okay to say no. Yes, Terry. Say what I want to do. This is not I should. I looks like that's registering. I love that. And it comes from a different mind track, and it's coming from a different source. And I believe if we can go deeper in what we need to do to get to the other side of this, we will. So I want to challenge some thoughts here, Adrian. In the last 7 minutes, we've been taught obviously to pray, and I am not. Of course, I'm not coming against prayer, y'all. Now, y'all know. I will talk to the Father. What I do want us to do is to be mindful and to watch our environment. Is it conducive for balance? Is it conducive for health? Sometimes we have to turn the TV off, leave our phones in the other room. Adrian, are there any tips that you tell people to get prepared or to ready themselves for sleep and for rest?
Turn the TV off. But here's another thing. Start your day without the TV on.
Mm.
My husband's laughing because I tell him that all the time.
I hear you, Brother Greg.
But start your day in silence. You can pray, you can
Wow.
meditate, you can just
Mhm.
listen to the birds sing.
I love,
Look
I
out
love,
the window.
love, I
Get
love
some
that.
nature therapy. Go outdoors, breathe the air,
Yeah.
and listen.
Yeah.
Listen. You listen to yourself.
Hmm. No,
Because
it's true.
oftentimes we know what we need, but we're so busy and so loud and so distracted, and we don't pay attention to it. And then we wonder what's wrong.
And if the truth be told, we've not been good stewards. We've not been good stewards over of our bodies, of ourselves. My sister tells me all the time, put your own mask on first, Denise. We're gonna get on that one. That might be its own podcast. And that might just be a woman's only, because I don't know that many of us learned how to do that at all. But I know there were some brothers who are good keepers of their brothers and sisters. Uh-oh, my battery's going out. Hold on one second, y'all. But I want us to figure out how to put ourselves in an environment where where rest is conducive. We should also be watchful of our emotional states.
So
Go ahead, Adrian, because that will. Whew.
do we go through all of what we go through?
Mm.
Because we're trying to do too many things. We're trying to please too many people. We don't know how to say no. We don't know how to rest. We don't eat properly. We don't sleep properly. And we are doing this to ourselves.
Yeah.
And oftentimes it's because we just don't know any better, or we
Yeah.
don't believe it's true.
That part.
Mhm.
Or we
Well,
wait to accept that it's true.
yeah. And, and we don't want to wait until it's, too late. And
Mm.
now we have something, some whatever condition, when we could have averted it had we just taken the time to do what your doctor tells you: eat
Mm. Mm.
properly, sleep,
Mm.
rest,
Mm.
have good social interactions
Mm.
with time away from it so that you can have time to yourself. It's all about balance and giving yourself permission to be balanced because it's your life.
It is. So here's this last thing that we get to say tonight. When we've been taught to pray, but we haven't done the best job watching. And when we don't do the best job watching and praying, our prayers are not aligned. Wow. Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow.
We're
I could
praying
go
amiss.
there on that one. And maybe we'll have a part two on our next live day. But when you go to God and we ask God for healing and we haven't done the things that we can do,
Mhm.
what are we asking God to really do? Because there is both permissive will and there's
Come on
perfect
now.
will.
Come on now. And God will say, okay, I told you so,
Mm,
like a good parent will.
mm.
You didn't listen. And so now here are some consequences. Deal with those.
Y'all, I keep saying we keep talking about life be life, and I'm telling you, consequences is consequenting, choices is choicing, decisions is decision. And
Yeah.
I am not talking at anybody. I say y'all, we. This is a journey for all of us. And unfortunately, my God, we're so out of time. Adrian, how can people reach you if they want to sit down with you as a perhaps new customer, new patient, client,
New client, new
client?
person. And I tell people, my brand of therapy is we just chit chat. Now I have some therapeutic stuff, mixed into it, but to put people at ease, let's just come in and chit chat. And then we're going to get to the root of it. We're going to pluck it up. But how you can reach me, uh, I'm on what is that? Psychology Today.
Okay.
Look up my bio. Phone number, direct number is 314-441-6679. As I said, I'm licensed in the state of Missouri. I do in-person sessions and virtual. So for all of you all people who've been working virtually since 2019, so was I.
2010 for me.
Oh my goodness. You got me
2010.
beat with that one. But yes, I love helping people become their best selves
Me too.
in a space that is safe and encouraging, and for people to be really heard and for them
Hmm.
to begin to understand themselves. Because
Yes.
when we can better understand ourselves, we can better maneuver.
Yes.
And so remember boundaries,
Yes.
boundaries, boundaries. We have
Boundaries.
to set boundaries within ourselves first.
We do. We do. And remember, rest is part of a boundary. Hey,
Rest. We
I'm
must
so
rest.
glad you joined me tonight, Adrian. Thank you so much for being my very
You're welcome.
first guest on my brand new baby podcast, DMC, The Impact Experience. You all
Yeah.
can find this video on Facebook, but please go to YouTube, the DMC Impact Experience YouTube. What do I need people to do? Subscribe, like, share. It's only because those numbers matter, so I can get to my little category of sorts. But I invite you to join me on Thursdays, every other Thursday. So our next podcast will be, let me get my dates because somebody said don't leave without my dates. April 30th, 6 p.m. Central. And in the meantime, I will continue to put up shorts and videos and post them on my YouTube channel. I love y'all so much. Thank you all for joining. If you're watching this in replay, just watch replay and like, share as well. Love you. See you soon. Be well, everybody. Thank you, Adrienne.
Thank you.